Yeah, we finished this part, right? So text 17 we finished. Like God, Krishna says that who is the best amongst the four people? So he says Gnani, okay, because he is in full knowledge of the absolute truth. He knows Krishna as it is. And then he's, because of doing devotional service 24 hours, he's free of material desires and he engages in pure devotional service. So he's like always like he's chanting, he's reading, he's hearing, he's serving the Lord, serving devotees. So and he's like totally into devotional service, and the Lord is very dear to him, and he is very dear to the Lord. So the devotees don't know anybody except the Lord. If they have any problem, they tell the Lord. If they are happy, they tell the Lord. So everything they share with the Lord. So same way, the Lord also reciprocates similarly with these dear devotees. When one is in pure knowledge of the transcendence of the Supreme Lord, material contamination cannot touch him. So obviously, when one's senses are totally always engaged, senses, mind, intelligence, everything is engaged in Krishna's service, where is the scope for Maya to enter? So there's no scope for Maya to enter. So that's what they're saying. Okay. So that's why Krishna says, out of the four pious people, I like the Gnanis very much because they don't have any selfish desire. Their only intention is to satisfy me. They just want to do devotional service to me. They don't want anything in return. Even though initially the Gnani comes with some expectation, but finally he comes to know that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is Krishna, and he is personal, he has a personal form, and he engages his total everything, his body, mind, senses, everything in a service of Krishna without any thing in return. Okay, so that is the thing. So now let's go to 18. उदारा सर्व एवैते ज्ञानी तु आत्मैव मे मतम् आस्थितः स हि युक्तात्मा माम् एवानुत्तमां गतिम्. All these devotees are undoubtedly magnanimous souls, but he who is situated in knowledge of me, I consider to be just like my own self. Being engaged in my transcendental service, he is sure to attain me, the highest and the most perfect goal. So, what is Krishna saying? See, all these devotees, like all these four pious people are there, right? They are undoubtedly magnanimous souls. Why is Krishna saying they are magnanimous, even though they have come to, because they still have come to Krishna. They didn't go, because even though they had material desires, they didn't go to some demigod. They went to Krishna directly. Okay, the source, the father. They went to Krishna to get their desires satisfied. So any person, I mean, be their intention, whatever they want from the Lord, be it material or anything, they should come to Krishna. So that's why Krishna says that these people, these pious people, they have come to me. So that is why they are called Mahatma. Even though they may want something in return from me, still they have come to me, right? There are many people who don't, they always show their back to Krishna. So Krishna is so happy that these souls, he calls them as Mahatma. Even though they may have some material desires, still they have come to me. So that's why they are Mahatma or magnanimous souls. But what is Krishna saying? He who is situated in knowledge of me. Who is that? Gnani, Krishna is talking about. So, of me, I consider to be just like my own self. So he's telling the Gnani, he is just like myself. I consider him as myself. Why? Because the Gnani being engaged in my transcendental service. So he's always, like we said earlier, right, in the earlier shloka, he's always like his mind, his senses, his body, everything is engaged in the service of Krishna. So he's always like in the mood of satisfying Krishna. He works for the pleasure of Krishna with nothing, without any expectation. Just he wants Krishna's satisfaction. Then what will happen? He is sure to attain me. So if you do a service like that to Krishna, devotional service to Krishna, he will come to me. He is sure to attain me, the highest and most perfect goal. So that is the goal we all should have. So why do we do all this sadhana and everything daily? We chant 16, minimum 16 rounds. We read Prabhupada books, and we hear from senior Vaishnavas, Guru Maharaj, Prabhupada. Why? And we do seva. to the Lord, devotees. Why do we do all this? So that we can go back, we can see Krishna face to face, and we can serve Krishna. So if not Krishna, at least the devotees, the servants of the servants of Krishna, we can serve them. So that should be our goal. Okay, so Krishna is telling this Gnani, because he's 24 hours in devotional service, he's sure, he will surely come back to me, and he will come back to my abode. So that should be our goal, which is the highest goal, Krishna says. Okay, so let's go to 19. Bahunam janmanam ante jnanavan mam prapadyate vasudevah sarvam iti sa mahatma sudurlabha. After many births and deaths, he who is actually in knowledge surrenders unto me, knowing me to be the cause of all causes and all that is. Such a great soul is very rare. So what is Krishna saying? After many births and deaths. So it is not that you will get self-realization just in one night. Okay, so Krishna is telling it may take many, many births. Like when initially, like we may be, I mean, like a karma kandi, then from karma kandi we may become to a nishkama karma yogi, and then gnana yogi, then we may be we understand that we worship God in impersonal Brahman. Okay. Then from impersonal Brahman, Gnani stage we come to Dhyana, I mean like Dhyana Yoga, wherein the yogi, he meditates on the Paramatma, who is present in the heart, meditates on Paramatma. Then after Paramatma, finally, after meditating like that, he gets purified, and then he understands, oh, there is real happiness. There is God is personal, God has a form. I mean, he already knows because he's already on the Paramatma platform. And then he knows that, okay, we can serve the Lord. Till that time, he's just meditating, sitting and meditating. He understands that, oh, when I do activities, when I serve the Lord, there is happiness, there is bliss. So then he understands. Then he starts doing devotional service to the Lord. He comes to the understanding that the highest realization is Bhagavan. So after many, many births and deaths like that, finally they come to the understanding that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of God. See, it takes many births. It's not like all in one night he becomes realized, he knows that Krishna is God, the Supreme Personality of God. He has a personal form like that. Okay, so that is what Krishna is telling. See, after many births and deaths, he who is actually in knowledge, okay, after undergoing all these, finally he comes to the understanding. Okay, what? Knowing me to be the cause of all causes. He understands that Krishna or Vasudeva, he is the cause of all causes. Like he is the source of creation, he is the maintainer, he is the destroyer, he is the controller of everything. And all this material world, Prakriti, and living entities are dependent on him. Nobody is independent of him. This whole thing is run on the basis of Krishna and his energies. So when he knows all that, he understands that Krishna is superior. And then he leaves all his sense gratification because he knows that Krishna is superior. Krishna is to be, we have to satisfy the senses of Krishna. Okay, when he understands that. So Krishna is saying such a kind of person is very rare. Okay, who surrenders to Krishna, knowing that Krishna is the cause of all causes. So generally people don't accept Krishna as God so easily. Some people say Krishna is a king, some people say he's a politician, some say he's just a man, normal man, with some extra powers, that's all they say. So, but nobody clearly tries to understand that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of God. He's the controller. He is the cause of all causes. Very, very few people understand that. That is what Krishna is saying. Such a great soul is very rare. So now let's see in the chart here. Okay, so same thing in chart form. Okay, so now bhakti devotional service is very rare. So that's why you see, right, in this whole world also, you see the count of devotees is very less. And 100%, you'll see 1% are only devotees. Okay, in crores and crores of population, millions of population, you can just count how many are there, right? So there are very few people who consider Krishna Supreme Personality of Godhead and do devotional service. Okay, so now let's see the flowchart here. So he knows that spiritual life is full of activities. which are eternal and blissful, and not just impersonalism. That's what we thought, right? Gnani, what is the thing first? He first thinks that when he comes to devotional service, first he understands that he's the soul and not the body. And then when he further advances, he comes to impersonal Brahman. Then impersonal Brahman, the further advances, he becomes a dhyana. He comes to dhyana yoga. He becomes a yogi, and he meditates on the localized Paramatma in the heart. In the heart, he meditates on Paramatma. Okay, then on further meditating, he understands that, oh, there is Krishna. He's the ultimate. He's Bhagavan. We can do physically, we can serve the Lord, not just sit and meditate without any physical activity. So, and when we do that, he understands that he gets happiness, bliss. And then he realizes, see, knows that spiritual life is full of activities. See, we have spiritual life. How we get so much of happiness when we chant, when we read Prabhupada books, and when we hear Vaishnava speeches, when we serve devotees, when we serve the Lord, we get so much of happiness, right? See, he understands all that. He knows that spiritual life is full of activities which are eternal and blissful and not impersonalism. See, impersonal Brahman, actually, what happiness is there when they merge into the impersonal Brahman? It is light and there is nothing. They can't even worship, they can't do any puja because it is impersonal, no form. They cannot do anything. There is no way to reciprocate with that. So they become so bored. So because of that, what happens is they again come back to come back to social activities. We all saw that, right? By a gnani, he comes back to establishing schools, colleges, and all these. He comes to hospitals. That's why, because he gets bored. But here you see, right, Krishna has a beautiful form. We can serve Krishna, we can bathe Krishna, we can dress Krishna, we can worship Krishna. There's so many spiritual activities we can do. Chanting, reading, doing seva, book distribution, prasadam distribution, so much to do. Okay, so that is what he understands. So they come to the know that bhakti or devotional service is very rare. I mean, Krishna says such a person who comes to the understanding that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead is very rare. Okay, so next we'll see material world is they come to know that material world is a perverted reflection of the spiritual activities. See, material world is, we know that it is a perverted reflection of spiritual activities. For instance, in the spiritual world, if we have love, what do we have here in this? What is that perverted reflection here? It is, we have lust. So it means that whatever is there, it is there here also, but it is distorted. Okay, it is exactly opposite. Because how is the reflection? It is opposite, right? When you see the same thing, it imitates the same thing, but it is opposite when you see in the image, right? When the reflection. So like that, here also we have same. We think that lust is love. Okay, it is distorted. There we have pure love for Krishna. Here we say when a boy and a girl love each other, they call it love. But that is not love, that is lust actually. So in this material world, we have lust. But in the spiritual world, everything is temporary, I mean permanent. And here in the reflection, material world, it is what? It is temporary, everything is temporary, right? So they understand that this material world is a perverted reflection of spiritual activity. So understand that everything here is causing them pain, right? So it's painful. See, lust, we should not have lust, right? Everything here is temporary. So why do we want to be here when everything is temporary here? Krishna says that this material world is dukkhalayam ashashvatam. Then why do we want to be here? Right? And he's saying, come back to my place, come back to the spiritual world where everything is full of bliss. There is happiness, there is no pain. Vaikunta, what is Vaikunta? Kunta means full of problems, full of miseries. Vaikunta means what? No miseries at all. So come back to my place, Krishna is telling. Okay, so they understand that this material world is a perverted reflection of spiritual activities. They understand that if everything, it is just the opposite of the spiritual world. So there it is happiness, here it is full dukkha. So they understand that and they take shelter of Krishna. They know that the only way to come out of this is bhakti, devotional service to God. Okay, and next, understands Lord as the cause of all causes. And thus, comes to the understanding that Krishna is the cause of all causes. Like he's a maintainer, he's the controller, he's the source of everything. He creates, he maintains, he destroys everything. He knows. All the living entities, everybody are dependent on him. The whole cosmic universe, everything, the demigods, Prakriti, everything, they are dependent on him. So they come to this understanding, and thus realizes the universal vision of Vasudeva. So they see, wherever they see everything, they connect it to Vasudeva, and they see in relationship to the Lord. See, when they drink water, they think that, oh, this is Krishna, the taste of water, he is Krishna. And when they see a beautiful flower, they connect it to Krishna. Oh, this flower is so beautiful. Then how beautiful is Lord Krishna? So everything, whatever they see, they connect it to Krishna. So wherever they go in the universe, they see everything in relationship with Krishna. Okay, if they see a human being or a dog, they see Paramatma, a super soul in them. Oh, they think, oh yeah, the Paramatma is there in them. And they give respect to even to a dog eater, a dog, elephant, a Chandala, everybody also. They see, that's what a Gnani or a person in knowledge, he understands, he sees everything in relationship to God. Okay. And then that is why he surrenders to Krishna, and that is the highest goal. Okay, so we have to surrender to Krishna, knowing him to be the highest. He is the cause of all causes. Okay, then we come out of that mentality. Till now, all of us were thinking that we are the master, we are the enjoyer in this material world. Everything has to go according to what I say. But when we understand Krishna's superiority is the cause of all causes, then we realize, oh no, we are the servants of Krishna. How can we become the master? That is why we are not getting that happiness. We are always thinking we are the master. But actually, we are the servant of Krishna. Our Swarupa is we are servant of Krishna. Okay, that we realize, and then we surrender to Krishna. Okay, and next last point is realizes the dependence on Supreme Lord's mercy. See, in spirituality, we always depend on the Lord. See, nothing is of our effort. See, now today we are listening to this Bhagavad Gita class. It is purely the mercy of Lord. Okay, that we are able to associate with each other and we are able to listen to this class. We are, we are so fortunate that Krishna is giving us the opportunity to hear. It is because of his mercy, we have not done anything good actually. It is because of his mercy, he understands that we are suffering in this world. He somehow, he is giving us that mercy, he is connecting us to this Bhagavad Gita, to devotees. Okay, so that we can be liberated from this material world and come back to him. Okay, so it is in spirituality, nothing is our effort, but doesn't mean that we don't put our effort. We have to do our chanting, reading. Even to do that chanting also, and with full focus, it is Krishna's mercy that we are able to chant. See how many of them are chanting. We can just count hardly how many people in this full material world, how many people are chanting. Okay, so we are those few, one of those few who Krishna has given that mercy, because of which we are able to chant. Right. So it is like in spirituality, we depend on the Supreme Lord's mercy, not our not our effort. Okay, so that is the one thing. Okay, and then we surrender to Krishna. So that is why for everything we pray to Krishna. If we are not able to chant, we pray to Krishna. If whatever be the reason, we just pray to Krishna. He will help us out. But with our own effort, we can't. We cannot cross Maya with our own effort at all. Krishna in the later stages, he says, my inferior energy, Maya Devi, my divine energy, I think we saw in last class, Maya Devi, Prakriti is very, very difficult to overcome. In fact, it is impossible to overcome. But the only way you can overcome Maya is by surrendering to me, doing devotional service to me. That is the only way. Krishna says, okay. So now we see here, right? Supreme Personality of Godhead is the ultimate goal of spiritual realization. So we understand that Krishna is personal, and the final stage is Bhagavan, and that Krishna, okay, and then they surrender. Okay, so this is the realization of one fully in knowledge. They understand that Krishna is Bhagavan, he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and they surrender. But in the beginning, we see right down, we see when trying to give up attachment to, I told you this point, right? When trying to give up attachment in the beginning, there is some leaning towards impersonalism. So first they get attached to impersonal Brahman, but later then they come to Paramatma stage. Later, then again they understand that their activities in spiritual life, devotional service, and thus he becomes attached to surrendering to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So initially they just have that understanding of impersonal Brahman, and finally they come to that Bhagavan realization stage. Okay, by doing devotional service, by getting purified, they come to that stage where they understand Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and they surrender to Krishna. Okay, that's why Krishna says such people are very rare. Okay, so next section we come to others who have no knowledge, those who surrender to demigods. Okay, two types are there. So those who have knowledge of Krishna, what they do, they surrender, right? And they get liberated and they go back to Godhead. But those who have no knowledge, okay, what do? They surrender to demigods. And second condition is those who are impersonalists. So let's see what happens to them. Okay, see, now this is 20. So they're saying those whose intelligence has been stolen by material desires surrender unto demigods and follow the particular rules and regulations of worship according to their own natures. Okay, so what is Krishna saying? See, his intelligence has been stolen by material desires. They are totally focused on sense gratification, so they are blinded. So the intelligence they're selling now, it is stolen by material desires. So like they're fully into sense gratification. Okay, they are karma kandis, totally into sense gratification. If I do this, what will I get? They will only do something if they get something in return. Such kind of people, what do? Surrender unto demigods. Okay, they surrender, they pray to demigods. See, if they want something, they pray to demigods. And what do? Follow particular rules and regulations of worship according to their own nature. And it is said in the Vedic rituals, right? If you, per the Vedas, they may say that if you do this sacrifice to this demigod, you will get this. To this demigod, if you do, you will get this. So these people, suppose if they want to go to heavenly planets, Indra, they will worship, they will do a yagna that will satisfy Indra. Okay, so there will be some rules and regulations for that. So they follow that and they do the yagna according to that. And according to their mode, they select a particular demigod. See, according to the mode, like if someone wants to worship, has disease, so they worship the sun god. And if someone wants knowledge, they worship Saraswati Devi. And if someone wants a beautiful wife, they worship Parvati Devi. Like that, if someone wants to go to heavenly planets, they worship Indra. So like that, for each person, each demigod, there is some particular ritual where they have to do. So they follow those particular rules and regulations, and they worship according to their mode, depending on their mode is, their mode of nature is like tamoguna, rajoguna, satvaguna, and depending on that, on that demigod, they worship them. On that mode, they worship. Okay, so that is what is being said here in 20. So 21, we'll see. I am in everyone's heart as the super soul. As soon as one desires to worship some demigod, I make this faith steady so that he can devote himself to that particular deity. Okay, so here Krishna, he does not interfere with our independence. Okay, he has given us some minute independence, right? All of us. So he does not want to interfere with that. Now, if a karmakandi, he wants to fulfill his desire, what does Krishna do? He gives him the permission to fulfill that wish. How? He gives that person the intelligence to go to that particular demigod and pray. So it's not that that person by himself goes to the demigod and prays. So Krishna, because he's there as Paramatma in that person, he knows that this person wants this wish. So what Krishna does, he makes that person go to that particular demigod and make him pray to that particular demigod. so that his wish will be fulfilled. Okay, but actually it is like Krishna who fulfills that wish, because see, both the living entity and the demigods are dependent on Krishna finally. See, now if the person wants to get his desire fulfilled, he has to go to a demigod, right? So he wants to go to a demigod. So Krishna has to fulfill that. So Krishna as Paramatma gives that person that instinct. Okay, you have this desire, right? So you go to this demigod. So Krishna gives him that knowledge. Okay, you go to the demigod, then your wish will be fulfilled. And that demigod also, when that person comes, he cannot directly say, okay, if he asks, I want this, the demigod directly can't give it to him. The demigod has to ask permission from Krishna. See, this person is asking this wish, can I sanction? If Krishna says yes, then that person will say yes to that person, and that person's wish will be sanctioned. Okay, so that is what. So some, you people, some of us may ask, see, why is Krishna fulfilling the wishes and keeping us more attached to this material world? We are getting bound in this Maya. See, the more that material desires, the more attachment we get, right? So we may ask, why is Krishna allowing this to happen? So Krishna says that, see, if I do not fulfill the wishes, like it's like I'm interfering with their independence. See, actually, why did we come to this material world? We wanted to be independent of Krishna. Actually, in the spiritual world, all of us were there with Krishna. No, we didn't want to be there with Krishna. Okay, we didn't want to enjoy with Krishna. We wanted to enjoy independent of Krishna. We didn't want Krishna to control us. That is why Krishna created this material world where we can enjoy separately from Krishna. Now, if Krishna comes here and again controls us, that is why Krishna is telling, see, you came from there here because you wanted to enjoy independent of me. Again, if I control, what is the use? That is what Krishna is saying. So that's why I don't want to interfere with your minute independence. Okay, so here that is what Krishna is saying. He gives us the full facility to fulfill our desires through that particular demigod. Okay, so that is what Krishna is telling here. Okay, so let us go to the next shloka. 23. So here Krishna is saying, men of small intelligence. Sorry, 22. Endowed with such a faith, he endeavors to worship a particular demigod and obtains his desires. But in actuality, these benefits are bestowed by me alone. Okay, so this person with full faith, he worships that particular demigod, okay, and he obtains his desires. He gets his desires fulfilled. But what is Krishna saying? In actuality, these benefits are bestowed by me alone. So earlier we discussed, right? Actually, these benefits are bestowed by Krishna, because demigods directly cannot fulfill the desires of that person. They again have to take permission from Krishna. So actually, this person is indirectly going to Krishna. So Krishna is telling, see, why do you want to go indirectly? You come directly to me, na? Why do you want to go to the demigods? And again, the demigods will come and ask me. Then I will have to say yes or no. Then the demigods will do that. So why do you want to go turn about and go? So why don't you directly come to me instead? Because I am the one who finally sanctions everything. Okay, so that's what Krishna is telling. Actually, these benefits are given by Krishna only. The desires of these persons are actually not fulfilled by demigods. It looks like demigods are doing it. But in actuality, it's Krishna. These demigods also take permission from Krishna, and then they sanction the desires of that person. Okay, so that is what is being said. Now, 23, men of small intelligence worship the demigods, and their fruits are limited and temporary. Those who worship the demigods go to the planets of the demigods, but my devotees ultimately reach my supreme planet. So, what is Krishna saying? So, men of small intelligence worship the demigods. Okay, so people who are less intelligent, Krishna is telling, okay, whose intelligence is small, what do? They don't worship Krishna. They worship these demigods, and their fruits are limited and temporary. Why? See, the material world is temporary, the demigods are temporary, and the living entities are temporary, and the objects that we are asking for are also temporary. So all of these will have a start and an end date. So they are temporary and limited, that they will perish someday. So what is the use of such wishes? Krishna is telling. Why do you want to worship the demigods when everything is limited and temporary? So Krishna is saying, come to me everywhere, everything is permanent. See, my world is permanent, I am permanent, you are permanent. Right? We are souls, we are not body, right? If you come back to the spiritual world. That is what Krishna is saying. You come back to me. Why do you want to stay in this temporary this thing which will perish? Okay. So he's what is Krishna also telling? Those who worship the demigods go to the planets of the demigods. See, so if we worship Indra, we'll go to the heavenly planet Swarga. If we worship moon god, we'll go to moon god. If we worship sun god, we'll go to the sun god. That's what Krishna is telling. But my devotees ultimately reach my supreme planet. But devotees who worship Krishna, they go to his planet, Goloka, which is permanent. See, the planets of the demigods are also temporary. When this, Pralaya comes, even they get dissolved. The demigods get dissolved, the demigod planets get dissolved, our material world gets dissolved, the living entities get dissolved, everything is temporary, they get dissolved. But the Vaikuntha Loka and Goloka, they are not dissolved, they are like eternal. Okay, they're there forever. So that's why Krishna is saying, you come back to my place, which is like permanent. Okay, and that is the thing. So now let's see the flowchart here. Why demigod worshippers considered as less intelligent? Okay, so we'll see this thing. So here we see we are starting from the yellow note we see 7.20 we saw, right? Intelligence is stolen by material desires. So because they're filled with lust, they want to enjoy sense gratification and they want the results quickly. They worship these demigods. These demigods, they think that and that is true also, they give results very fast. So that's why they worship these demigods. Okay, so that is what is at 20. Next, basis of choice of worship, different modes and natures. So we saw, right, depending on that particular desire that he has, he goes to a different kind of demigod to fulfill his wish depending on his mode and nature. Okay, if he wants, we've seen, right, learning, knowledge, Saraswati Devi, and if he wants to be free from disease, he goes to sun. Like that, different demigods per his mode, depending on his mode. Like if he wants money, he goes to, if he's in mode of passion, he goes to Lakshmi Devi. Depending on his mode, he goes, right? And then Krishna is telling, these people lack knowledge, right? Actually, because they lack knowledge of Krishna, that is why they go to these demigods. Okay, but what is Krishna saying? Because they don't know me, who Krishna is the source of everything. They don't know that Krishna is the source of everything. And Krishna makes faith steady, required by living entity to worship him. So we saw, right, in the earlier shloka, it is Krishna who makes the faith steady. See, the person, he has that desire. So Krishna, he is present as Paramatma in that person. He guides that person. Okay, you go to this demigod, you worship him, then your wish will be fulfilled. So it is Krishna who does it, but the person, he doesn't know that Krishna is doing all this. Okay, actually everything, they think that these people who are ignorant, they think that the demigods are doing all this. They are ignorant, they don't know that Krishna is doing all these. Okay, and Krishna bestows benefits through the demigods. So Krishna fulfills their desires through the demigods. Okay, so we saw that. Now, even the demigods, they cannot, if the person comes to the demigod does not have the right to say, yeah, okay, go. He can't say that. He has to go to Krishna again. Krishna, this person, he says, wants this wish, what should I do? Then Krishna tells him, then the demigod comes and fulfills whatever Krishna says. Okay. In actuality, because they lack this knowledge of Krishna, they think the demigods are actually doing it, but actually, behind, indirectly, everything is done by Krishna. Okay, what is the result? Because they worship the demigods, obviously they go to the planets of the demigods. So keeps one in the material world, a place of misery. See, if they go to the demigod, suppose for instance, they go to Swarga, when their pious credit is over, again they come back to this earthly planet, which is a place of misery. Right, again they have to undergo birth, death, like that. Again they will get pious, they'll go to heavenly planets. So they will be in the repeated chain of birth and death. And they have to stay in this material world, which is a place of misery. Okay, and what is the result for a devotee, Krishna devotee? They go to the planet of Krishna. So result of demigod worship is all are perishable. See, when you worship demigod, the demigod planet is perishable. You are perishable. Demigods are perishable. This material world itself is perishable. Everything is perishable. So, what is the use of such desires getting fulfilled, which are perishing in time? And the result of devotional service unto Krishna is unlimited and eternal. But if you do devotional service to Krishna, everything is permanent. The place is permanent, Krishna is permanent, you are permanent as soul, spirit soul. So everything is permanent. Okay, so that's what they're saying here in this cycle. See, demigod worshippers, what is their nature? They follow Karma Kanda section of the Vedas. So we said, right, that Karma Kandis, they want to enjoy sense gratification. So they do, per the Vedas, they do the prescribed duties. Like if they want to go to heavenly planets, they do yajna for that. Okay. And they accumulate pious karma and they go to heavenly planets. And they're attracted to material enjoyment because they want their own sense gratification. They use all the objects that are present in the material world. They say everything is mine. Okay. And they seek quick results. That's why they go to demigods. The demigods give results quickly. That's why they go to them. Nature. What is their mentality and attitude? They always think that I am the enjoyer. Okay, say they always want to be the enjoyer. They think they are the Purusha actually. Actual Purusha is Krishna, but they think they are Purusha. They are the enjoyer. Desires superior enjoyment in higher planets. So he's a karma kandi, right? He always wants to enjoy in heavenly planets. Okay, and false prestige. So he thinks that he's this body. Okay, he does not realize that they don't understand about spirituality. He has this false prestige that is the body and everything connected to the body. He has to is I mean, like, what do you say? He gives comforts, everything to his body. So he's under that false prestige that I am this, I am this. He wants all that name, fame, everything. And next, intelligence lost due to lusty desires. We saw, right, how big his intelligence is lost. Totally is engrossed in sense gratification. 7.20 we saw. And philosophy. What does he believe? He believes that one who worships a demigod can reach the Supreme Lord. He thinks that the demigod worship and Supreme Lord is both are same. Okay, he's thinking that Krishna, worshipping Krishna and worshipping a demigod like Indra or Chandra is same. He thinks that worshipping any demigod or 36 crore demigods are there. Any one demigod we can worship, that is equal to worshipping Krishna. And anybody is God. That is what he thinks. He can worship any demigod and they are God, he thinks. Okay, that is his philosophy. That is what we see, right? Many people, that's why they worship, they say Shiva is God, Durga is God, whoever they want, Kartikeya is God, Ganesha is God. They say, anybody you do puja, you will go back to Godhead. That's what they will say. But that concept is wrong of them. See, they accept demigods as equal to Krishna, but that never happens. Actually, demigods are who? They are part and parcels of Krishna. Who Krishna gives some extra powers so that they can execute the material duties of this world. That's all. They are also living entities like us. But Krishna gives them extra powers so that they can run this material world. Okay. Like Varuna is the god of water, like Agni is the god of fire. Okay, so all these, they have some Indra is the lord of rain, like that. They have their particular duties Krishna gives them. So they are actually assistants of Lord, but they are never equal to Krishna. A particular demigod is supreme instead of, what is that? I don't know. I'm sorry, I don't know what is that. That sentence is incomplete, okay? So let's see action. Performs prescribed duties. So we saw that he performs prescribed duties, like what is mentioned in the Shastras, he does his duty. Okay, for what? For that he worshipped. We saw the cycle of sacrifice. I hope you all remember. In that we saw how karma kandis they perform yagna, right? Sacrifice. So whatever prescribed duties they give that in the yagna. That is their yagna, sacrifice. And then they worship that demigod, and then the demigod gets happy and they give them the required result. Okay, result, what does he get? He achieves higher planetary systems. Obviously, if he worships Indra and Asda's yagna, he will go to the heavenly planet. Okay, and after his pious karma is exhausted, again he will have to come to this middle planetary system, that is the earth. He has to come back. Okay, that is what's it here. Next, 7.24. अव्यक्तं व्यक्तिम् आपन्नं मन्यन्ते माम् अबुद्धयः परं भवाम् अजानन्तो ममाव्ययम् अनुत्तमम्. Unintelligent men who do not know me perfectly think that I, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, was impersonal before and have now assumed this personality. Due to their small knowledge, they do not know my higher nature, which is imperishable and supreme. So, unintelligent men here are those who worship the demigods are called unintelligent men. Okay, so who do not know me perfectly. What do these people who worship the demigods think? That Krishna was impersonal before. So, what do these people think? Before the creation, they think that God was impersonal. God had no form. But after creation, Krishna, he comes, right? He comes to this material world, right? Then they think that Krishna has come with this material body. Okay, see, they think he's like he has assumed a material body like all of us. But what they don't know is because their knowledge is small. Krishna is telling they don't know my higher nature. What is Krishna's nature? Whether he comes to the spiritual world or the material world, he is always Sachidananda. He is imperishable. He is the supreme. That is what Krishna is saying. These days, people who worship the demigods, Krishna is saying they're intelligent, they have no brain. Krishna is telling. So they think before the creation was there, they think Krishna is like unmanifest, like he is like impersonal Brahman. He has no form. But they think that because Krishna has no form, he has come to this material world with some form which is material. So they don't give importance to this Krishna form as they don't think Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They think that Krishna, who has come now, he is a material person. He is just some king or a politician. Like that, they think. They don't consider him as who is transcendental Sachidananda body. But Krishna is telling, I am Sachidananda. I am transcendental. I don't die like all of you. I don't change bodies like all of you. I can remember everything, present, past, future, but you can't remember anything like me. I don't have a body like you. Once you die, you take a new birth, you forget about your past, everything. But mine is not like that. So these demigods, that's what Krishna is saying. People who worship the demigods, they think Krishna after the creation, before the creation, Krishna is, they think God is impersonal. And now he has come to this material world with this material form. But Krishna is clarifying, no, my body is not material at all. It is always, even if I come to this material world, it is Sachidananda. It is imperishable. Okay, and it is supreme, he's saying. Naham prakasha sarvasya yoga maya samavrita mudo ayam na vijanati loko mam ajam avyayam. So what is Krishna saying here? I am never manifest to the foolish and unintelligent. For them, I am covered by my eternal creative potency, Yoga Maya. And so the deluded world knows me not, who am born and infallible. So, what is Krishna telling here? I am never manifest to the foolish and unintelligent. This is what? Shloka number 25. Okay. So, what is Krishna saying? To the foolish and intelligent, I am not manifest. But we may say that, okay, when Krishna was present on this earth, he could be seen by everybody. Okay, everybody could see, right? Duryodhana could see, the Pandavas could see, Kauravas could see, all the people around the Dwaraka and Hastinapur, everybody could see. He was Krishna. But what is Krishna trying to say? That only few people could understand that Krishna was Supreme Personality of Godhead. The remaining people, they just thought Krishna was some king, or Krishna is like an ordinary being like all of us. Why did the Pandavas understand that he was Supreme Personality of Godhead, and why didn't the others understand? So that is the difference. So those who do devotional service to Krishna, Krishna gives them the intelligence to understand that he is God, he is Sachidananda. To the others who don't believe in Krishna, okay, like the impersonalists and the people who worship the demigods, who don't believe in Krishna, they think Krishna is material. They see him as a material person. To such kind of people, you know what happens? If Why do they understand that Krishna is like a person? Because the yoga maya, their yoga, it covers them. Yoga maya covers Krishna, so they are not able to understand that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. So what is Krishna saying? I am never manifest to the foolish and unintelligent. See, even Duryodhana saw that Krishna is there, but he could not understand that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Even after Krishna shows, when he comes for the peace treaty, Krishna, he shows Duryodhana the mini universal form. Even after showing that, what does Duryodhana say? He says, ah, you're such a great magician, he says. But he doesn't understand that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Why Duryodhana behaved like that? Because he was covered by, because he is, what do you say? Because he's foolish and unintelligent, Krishna, like covers them with that Yoga Maya layer. What do you say? Krishna is covered by that Yoga Maya so that they don't detect that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay, so they do not know me, who am unborn and infallible. So because of that Yoga Maya layer, they don't understand that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay, so that is what they're saying. So now let's see the same thing in the chart. See, the result of being impersonal is they do not know Lord as unborn and infallible. So these people, they think that, they don't think that Krishna is like Sachidananda. They think him as these impersonalists. They think that Krishna is a person, like normally, like people like us. Okay, one second. Here, see, what is the result of impersonalism? So they do not know the Lord who is unborn. Why? Because people who pursue impersonal philosophy fail to recognize that Lord is unborn and infallible. So they see Krishna only as material energy. These people, they see Krishna as material, made with material elements. Material energy, we are all we all belong to the material energy, right? We are all made up of this material elements. Okay, so they see Krishna as a normal human being, and they ignore the personal aspect of Godhead. So they don't see Krishna as God. They see him only as a material man, a normal being like all of us. Okay, Supreme Lord hides from the foolish and unintelligent. Why? So Krishna, or Absolute Truth, chooses not to reveal himself to those whose intelligence is clouded by ignorance. See, why Krishna does not want to reveal himself to such people is because such people, their knowledge is clouded by ignorance. They are in ignorance, okay, and full of their material desires. So such people, they don't understand that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because if see, generally these people, they want their sense gratification. For them, the thinking that we have to satisfy the senses of Krishna is way beyond. So they are so ignorant, and they're so full of sense gratification that they cannot understand Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that is why Krishna, he does not try to reveal it to them because they're so ignorant and they're so lost in this material world, so lost in sense gratification that they don't understand Krishna as a supreme personality of God. They think he's just some ordinary material person. Okay. When will they understand that Krishna is supreme personality of Godhead? Only through purification and devotion does one gain the capacity. The one understands only purification and devotional service. If they do, they will understand. The Lord gets covered by his internal potency, Yoga Maya. Okay, because he understands that these persons, they're not qualified to know him because they are ignorant and they're so much into sense gratification. So that's why Krishna gets covered by his internal potency, Yoga Maya, because he doesn't want them to understand. And they are and they also can't understand because they're so much into sense gratification. They're so ignorant that they're so immersed in sense gratification that they can't understand all these things. So that is why Krishna, he doesn't want to reveal himself. So he gets covered by that Yoga Maya. Okay. So it's not like the Krishna also says this is not punishment for them that I don't want to be revealed. It's some punishment that I'm given. No, I'm giving them protection. Okay, otherwise, what is Krishna saying? The ignorant persons would misinterpret the Lord's personality and become confused or disrespectful. So otherwise, they don't know that Krishna is, they don't, because they don't know Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, they will disrespect him because we are prone to, right, if you are normal human beings, we fight, right, we do all sorts of things, we can disrespect. So Krishna doesn't want all that to happen. So to avoid all those, Krishna puts that layer, and like he makes them forget Krishna and connects them to demigods, like in that sense. Why impersonalists are blind to the Lord's presence? Okay, they emphasize, see that why they are blind, because they think that this the personal form of Krishna they think is material. They don't understand that it is spiritual. Okay, so that is the main reason they can't realize the Lord's presence. Okay, they don't understand. They think that before creation, Lord is impersonal, but because he has to come to this world, he has taken a material form like us. So they don't believe in that. So they believe Krishna is like a normal being, but they don't believe that the supreme personality of Godhead, Krishna, whether he's in the material world or spiritual world, he is always spiritual. Sachidananda. They don't understand that. So they can only understand with devotion, they can understand that transcendental nature of the Lord. Okay. So here we saw that, right? Supreme Lord, Absolute Truth, hides from the foolish and unintelligent. That is why he hides. Because they're so engrossed in sense gratification and all that, and they're so ignorant. So Krishna gets covered by his internal potency. And qualification of understanding Lord Krishna is only to pure devotees, like Pandavas, Bhishma, and few others. They could understand. And except devotees, all consider him as ordinary. So only devotees know Krishna as the supreme personality of Godhead. Remaining all people consider him as ordinary. Okay, 41. Avyaktam vyaktim आपन्नं मन्यते माम अबुद्धयः param bhavam achananto mam avyayam anuttamam. So intelligent men who do not know me perfectly think, oh, where have we gone? Sorry, we were here, right? 25. So next 26 shloka. I think 26 is not given here. I'll read here. Vedaham samatitani vartmani cha arjuna bhavishyani cha bhutani mam tu veda na kashana. So what is Krishna saying to Arjuna? Oh Arjuna, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, I know everything that has happened in the past, all that is happening in the present, all that things are yet to come. I also know all living entities, but me, no one knows. So what is Krishna telling? See, Arjuna, I can remember the past, present, future, everything I can remember. Okay. But so now Krishna is indirectly saying, see, these impersonalists and these worshippers of demigod, they think that I am material. See, if I am material, I would not see, even after taking the birth again, after I die and take birth, I should have forgotten everything. But see, I remember everything. See, Krishna tells Arjuna that 2 million years ago I told the Bhagavad Gita to Sun God. He remembers. It means he is Supreme Personality of Godhead, not like a common person like us. So Krishna is telling, I am Satchidananda. I don't change bodies. I am Supreme Personality of Godhead. It's not that then like the impersonalist thinks that I have a material body. If I have a material body, I have to forget everything. We in fact don't know what we did exactly at this time yesterday. Forget about past janmas. So that's why Krishna is telling, I am Satchidananda. So I can remember everything. But Krishna is saying, nobody knows, but me, nobody knows. I know everything. See, we see, right? But me, no one knows. Many people don't know Krishna. So such rare souls are very rare. That's what Krishna says, right? So, but Krishna knows everything. Past, present, future, everything. Okay. So 27. Icha. Yeah, 27. Yeah. इच्छाद्वेष समुत्तेन द्वन्द्वमोहेन भारत सर्वभूतानि सम्मोहं सर्गे यान्ति परन्तप. So, O Sian of Bharata, O conqueror of the foe, all living entities are born into delusion, bewildered by dualities arisen from desire and hate. So, what is Krishna saying that? Okay, how because we are in this material world, we are in delusion. Why? See, in material world we are bewildered by dualities. See, we are so attached, we come to know like we are we think that this is common. The duality is what we have. We hate, we enjoy. Okay, and what else? We are happy, we are sad. Sometimes it is hot, it is cold. So we face all these pleasures and pains. We think it is common. Okay, but there is a world where there is only single thing happening. Here there is love and hate, hot, cold. But there in the it is temporary. But there in the spiritual world, there is only one thing. There is only love. There is no duality there. So only there is duality in this material world. So here, what is Krishna is saying? All living entities are born into delusion. So they are in Maya. Krishna is telling they are in Maya and they are bewildered by the dualities arisen. Okay, so let's see here. See how the living entities are covered by Maya. See, we all are in this material world. We are covered by Maya. Maya means what? The three modes of material nature, Prakriti. We are desiring to enjoy separate from Krishna are put under Maya. See, actually, why have we come to this material world? Because we wanted to enjoy separate from Krishna, right? So we didn't want to serve Krishna in the material world. We didn't want to enjoy along with Krishna. We wanted to be Krishna. We wanted to be the enjoyer. So because we wanted to desire, we came here. Krishna created this material world for us. That is who is the main person who is the control of this material world? It is Durga Devi. Okay, or Maya, we call her. Okay, Maya Devi. Okay, so Krishna puts us under the control of Maya Devi. Okay, so desiring to enjoy separate from Krishna are put under Maya, delusion. Okay, separation from pure knowledge, thus covered by illusory energy. So we are all covered by this illusory energy. So we how should I say? One second. Yeah. See, See, they are deluded by illusion Maya. See, the Maya binds the soul's understanding, making it difficult for them to accept Krishna's supreme position. See, instead of seeing him as the source of all happiness, they envy him for possessing what they crave but cannot attain. Okay. Okay. So in this material world, we are forced to, I mean, like because of these dualities, we get so used to, because of this illusion, we think that, okay, there will be pain, there will be pleasures, there will be sadness, there will be this. And so because of that veil of illusion, we get used to this. Okay, because we are put in Maya, we think all this is common. See, we may think that, oh, everybody is undergoing difficult situations. We are also undergoing difficult situations. That is, we are nothing separate. So we think like that, and we are put under that illusion, okay, of Maya. But there is a separate world where dualities are not there. Only happiness is there, not pain, love, hate. We don't want the bad, right? We only want the good always. So there's a place where there is only good. So that is the spiritual world. But here, because now we wanted to enjoy separately, we are put in that illusion that we are being masters. We are trying to enjoy along with the dualities. So we have pain and pleasure, both. But we are just looking at the pleasure part. But we don't want the difficult part. Okay, so that is illusion. Okay, so the effects or manifestation of illusory energy is because of the duality of desire and hate. Okay, so all because of these delusions, because of Maya, we are in this material world. We get confused because of that. Okay, see, what are the symptoms of such delusion? So, what happens when you are confused? Okay, what are the symptoms? Wants to become one with the Lord. Okay, so what do these impersonalists do? They want to become one with the Lord, right? What they don't want to have a separate existence. They merge into the impersonal Brahman and they become one with God, right? So that what are they saying? That is the original sinful desire of living entity. Okay, so they don't understand that they're subordinate to the Lord. They think that they're equal to God. See, when they merge into the impersonal Brahman, that light, they think they have become one with God and they become God. We can never be equal with God. Okay, they don't understand that. Because of this Maya, curtain of Maya, they don't understand that. They think they have become merged into God, they have become God. But we can never be equal to God because we saw God is the cause of all causes. How can we be equal to God? Okay, no. So they envy Krishna as the supreme personality of Godhead. So this is the reason for their hatred. Why they hate Krishna? They envy Krishna as the supreme personality of Godhead because we saw that Krishna is not an extraordinary person. He's an extraordinary person. He can do all extraordinary tasks. When he was a small boy, he could kill Putana. So he was like extraordinary. But even though they thought he was like a material person, he did some extraordinary feats because of which everybody used normal people, they used to envy him, thinking that he's a material person. Oh, why is he getting so much credit like that? So they envy Krishna. That is the original reason why we hated Krishna, and that's why we came here. We were envious of Krishna. Why only Krishna should enjoy? Why only Krishna should get fame? Why everybody should always think of Krishna only? Why only he should get that name and everything? So that's why we came here. Okay, under that illusion. So we think Supreme Personality of Godhead is created by material energy. So when Krishna comes to this material world, we think that he is a material person like us. Okay, under that illusion. So manifestations of dualities of delusion and honor, dishonor, pleasure, all. So because in the material world, obviously we have all these dualities. Okay, hate, love, sad, happiness, hot, cold. So we have all these dualities. So, but how can we get out of the covering of Maya? So Maya means what? We try to enjoy our senses. Okay, our senses, we want results also. We do something because we expect the results. We do some business with the expectation of getting some profit, like that. But how can we get free from the covering of Maya when we recognize Krishna's supremacy. So when we know that Krishna is not a material person like us, when we come to the recognition that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, he is the cause of all causes, then they become a devotee of Krishna. So which is their real constitutional position? What is the real constitutional position of Jiva? Jivera Swarupa Hoy, Krishnera Nityadas. Shall I continue, Prabhuji Mataji, or should I stop? Hare Krishna?
If possible, can be done tomorrow.
Oh, so we'll stop here. Okay, fine, no problem. No problem. Actually, I thought today, actually, because the power didn't go, no Prabhuji, I thought I'd finish this and I start chapter 8 also, I thought. So no problem. So tomorrow we completed with 27, right? So we'll start from 28 tomorrow. No problem, Prabhuji. Okay?
Yes.
Yeah, because I don't want to overburden you, overstress you, because you also have family responsibilities. In fact, I'm so grateful to both of you that you have given me a chance to at least tell this 1 hour. I'm really, really thankful to both of you. Thank you so much. And please let me know if you have any doubts.